because Grover Cleveland was the first president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, making him both the 22nd and 24th president. Proving that losing once doesn't mean your career was toast. But the guy who squeaked between Cleveland's 2 terms was Benjamin Harrison, the first president to have electricity installed in the White House. The only problem, Harrison and his wife were terrified of it. In fact, they were so afraid of being electrocuted, they frequently left the lights on overnight rather than flipping the switch. I'll get that for you, sir. That's why you pay me the big bucks. Afterwards, William McKinley kept the new inventions rolling because he was the first president to ride in a car. But hold up, don't imagine a Tesla or even a Model T, cause the car was basically a steam-powered wagon mixed with a teapot. But wheels are wheels. Can this thing get up to 60? Whoa! But speaking of traveling far and wide, Teddy Roosevelt was the first sitting president to travel abroad. Cause in 1906, he hopped on a ship and headed down to Panama to check out the canal under construction. And in classic Teddy fashion, he trumped around the muddy worksite in his white suit and Panama hat, inspecting progress like he owned the place. The trip sent a clear message. America wasn't just building a ditch, it was building an empire. And everyone had to pitch in. But while some presidents like to get their hands dirty, others like to swing a gavel. Like William Howard Taft, the first president to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court after his presidency. Cause after leaving office, Taft finally landed the dream job he always wanted, Chief Justice of the United States, making him the only person to run both the executive branch and the judicial branch. But there must have been something in the water back then, because these presidents were brilliant. Like Woodrow Wilson, the first U.S. president with a Ph.D. And after earning his doctorate in political science from Johns Hopkins, Wilson worked as a college professor and became president of Princeton University. This guy was basically professor-in-chief, and he ran the presidency like a seminar, just without the homework. On the other hand, Warren G. Harding was the first president ever heard on the radio, cause in 1922, his voice crackled over the airwaves during the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial. And this was a game changer, because the president was no longer just words on a page. He could speak directly to the people. But when Harding dropped dead from a heart attack, Calvin Coolidge became the first president sworn in by his father. Cause Silent Cal was up in Vermont relaxing at the family farmhouse when he got the tragic news. And when a president dies, the VP can't waste a second. The oath has to happen right away. But the only problem, there weren't any judges around, no Chief Justice, and no fancy ceremony. So Coolidge turned to his father, a local notary, and basically said, "Hey Pops, mind holding this Bible while I become president?" Talk about a memorable father-son moment. But let's take a trip all the way